We're speaking today with Alan Corrali, Senior Vice President of Asset Performance at Bentley Systems. Welcome, Alan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Paula.
Bentley is talking this year about its going digital strategy in the industrialization of BIM. Where are you going with BIM, and what is visual operations?
So at Bentley, we worked a lot on the design and construction's user base and industries that are dealing with building, where this came from, building information management, in rail, in road, in construction. And what we're doing uniquely on the asset performance side is bringing that experience and combining it with what we've learned on the operations side in our power and electrical businesses, and bringing those together in what we call the industrialization of BIM, where we, instead of building specific for site, you're bringing manufacturing type processes, you're bringing the discipline of the engineering of operations and reliability to that whole BIM process. And the visual operations part of that is when you bring BIM in, a lot of that is bringing over all the 3D modeling information and spatial context and using that and reusing that information in operations to get more context to the information that's needed.
So you're bringing engineering technology to the IT-OT convergence.
Absolutely.
I like that. Your reality modeling technology is impressive, and at Year in Infrastructure, there was plenty of evidence to back up Bentley's claim that this technology is going mainstream. What is your vision for reality modeling on the asset performance side of the business, and how does that tie into reliability in the industrial Internet of Things?
Well, I think for a long time as a CAD company, we would show these cool 3D models and the potential they could be used in operations, but the big holdback has been the cost in a brownfield type situation of how do I get those models? And the technologies we've invested in around point clouds and now our context capture technology that uses photometography, the ability to capture reality in a 3D environment basically continuously is making this very cost effective. And so now you have the ability to, what you'll see, everyone sees the first use case is just to decorate that information with operational information. So I could be looking at a plant in its current, put the pressures on the tanks and whatnot. But that can even go farther. You could be continuously or periodically taking that same survey and showing differences over time of what's going on that. And so combining that reality spatial information as it changes, compare that with the stuff that's coming from now the IoT information that's coming in from all these sensors, and comparing those just provides this huge set of data that could be used to help in the reliability process.
More data, better decisions, hopefully. What are the greatest challenges voiced to you by owner-operators against adopting these technologies? And in your opinion, what are the biggest barriers to success as well as the greatest benefits?
Well, I think there's a couple of numbers. I think first, people get overwhelmed. Where do you start? And that can be a problem. But I think that's going to start getting easier and easier. We like to talk about the so-called millenniums. They're getting pre-trained on their phones and everything. So there's now a pull from the new workforce that they want these kind of tools. So that's kind of helping with user adoption. The big rocks are going to be the infrastructure we have. If I'm going to go digital, this implies moving a lot of data around to a lot of different places. And so is your telecommunications type, is your infrastructure prepared to move this data around? People are concerned, rightfully so, about cybersecurity. And so we're addressing all those together with our customer base and making sure that we're starting with incremental improvements, because a lot of this can be done with value now, with what we have today. And it's just building a foundation of where you can go to get these great benefits moving forward.
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of brownfields in particular have a lot of questions about this. Certainly in implementing it in a greenfield project is totally different. But I do think there's a lot of value to be had. You were at Distributech last week, where Siemens and Bentley announced a new area of cooperation for the utilities industry. Can you tell us a bit more about this and where this relationship is headed in relation to IIoT for utility companies?
Sure. So we announced an integration between our Open Utilities product and Siemens PSS SynCal, which is, so our product allows you to model the physical nature of transmission and distribution type networks. and put it in a spatial context and work with GISs. And the Siemens products that are part of this allow you to analyze that. And it's just a great example where our partnership is really complementary, because by pulling those two things together, first of all, we have a much faster workflow to start, but as we move that forward, we'll be able to bring that simulation and analysis right to the user who's actually doing the design in real time, which is pretty powerful. And the other part of our announcement had to do with substation and intelligent components. So taking catalogs of components such as Siemens makes and making those available during design with all their characteristics of how they work. We call, that's why they're called intelligent components. Mm-hmm. Bring them into the design and then be able to immediately even get a faster simulation. And as you hand that over to operations, you have the reliability information and all the things to maintain it. So I think it's a really good fresh start to something that's going to be pretty exciting.
A great example of the ecosystem that's going to be required to make IIoT a reality.
That's for sure.
We've been speaking today with Alan Corrali, Senior Vice President of Asset Performance at Bentley Systems. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Paula.